What's happening, people? Welcome back. This is Everyone's a Pundit, episode 85. Big up to everybody watching. I am your host, Semps, back in the host seat this week after last week driving back from Manchester United, Old Trafford, after that 5-0 drumming. I'm a lot happier this week. There's a lot of smiling faces on the screen at the moment because most people got W's this weekend. I say most people. But anyway, we're going to get into it, man. Thank you all for joining us. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well. But let me get into introducing my guests. As always, it's nice to get new pundits on, man. So we've got 3 new pundits to the channel today. If I can start with yourself, please, London Leeds. Can you introduce yourself? Let the people know who you are, where they can find you, and who you're repping, man.
Mate, Leeds United.
Leeds
United. London born and raised, but a big Leeds fan from Ghana. Tony Yobobo was bagging the goals when I was younger.
Hey,
it's just stay true. And the last 4 years have been fantastic. A little bit rocky at the moment, but we'll weather the storm. And we'll be all right at the end of the day. I'm fully confident, mate. Got enough goals in the bag. We've got Rafa. Bamford's going to be coming back soon. We'll be fine. So I'm not even concerned.
Wicked. And all the descriptions will be in all of the links, will be in the description. London Leeds. You can find him on Twitter. D, can you introduce yourself as well, please, my man?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Palace fan here. D, back of the nest. You know, as you can see, smile on my face. I'm excited, man. I'm finally excited to support Palace. There's last 3 to 4 years. I always say this. Last 3 to 4 years was very hard to be a Palace fan. But finally, we've got Viera in. We've got a project in place. And you're going away to City keeping clean sheet. How can I not have a smile on my face? But look, I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me on. And it should be a great episode, man. I can't wait to talk about Tottenham as well.
Where
did that come from?
Wicked. We're going to get into that. Don't worry about that. Yo, A1, introduce yourself, my guy.
What's going on, people? A1_QDL, Quality Defense League, Touchline Frackers, Touchline Mugger, TLF_Mugger. Just a proud and passionate Man United fan, man. Not happy with the direction the team's going at the moment, but we'll get into that today. Thank you for having me, boys. Appreciate you.
It's been a long time coming, man. So it's a pleasure having you on. Pleasure having you on, London Leeds, and yourself, D, man. We're going to have a good episode today. And last but not least, Patrick.
Yes. What's going on, people? It's your boy Patrick Tyron, aka Young Sluggy Daniels. When you see the T, you see the P. When you see the P, that represents T. Let's go.
Let's get into this week's episode, man. So, Premier League results started off. Arsenal 2-0 away win to Leicester. That was the 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. Next game, Burnley 3-1 at home to Brentford. Liverpool played out a 2-2 draw at home to Brighton. And this is why D has got a smile from there to there. Man City 0, Crystal Palace 2. Next game, Newcastle 0, Chelsea 3. Watford 0, Southampton 1. And Tottenham 0, Manchester United 3. We're going to get into that one as well. Move on to today. It was a bit of an interesting game there. Looking forward to getting your views on this one. London Leeds, Norwich 1, Leeds 2. And then the last game of the weekend was Aston Villa 1 and West Ham 4. So there's only one place to start this weekend. And that is at White Hart Lane. Is it White Hart Lane still, Pat? What's it called now?
It's called the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So they're trying to do this whole executive thing. They haven't given it naming rights yet. That should have been sorted a long time ago, in my opinion. So at the moment, it's just called the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And it's open until we get some sort of big branding sponsorship, like the Etihad or the Emirates or whatever. So, yeah.
Okay. So it seems like you all get these shiny new stadiums, but the football doesn't quite follow the quality stadium. Let's go over to A1, please. First, I want to get your thoughts on the game. And and how you was feeling during the game. Because as a Man United fan, I can only assume it was a little bit of a weird game for you. How were you feeling, Moran? And what did you think about the game?
Man. It was weird. I got to the stadium and I didn't want us to win, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Very weird. I know. I didn't want us to win at all. I thought, let Spurs give us a little drubbing, and then Ollie's gonna get his P45 or his P60 in the morning. I thought, yeah. I was in the Spurs end as well. I was ready to celebrate when Spurs scored. I promise you. I was ready to celebrate when Spurs scored. But do you know the thing, right? Once you get into the stadium and you actually start watching your team play, it's really, really hard to support anyone else. And so even though I was in the Spurs end and Son had a chance, right? And then I got up off my feet. I thought, all right, this might be it for Ollie, and he's missed it. But then as soon as Ronaldo scored, like just from then, my head just switched. And then I was back to being a United fan. I was right at the top, at the back, right? In the east section. I'm sure Patrick knows whereabouts I was. And I was hearing the United fans down below singing, and I'm sitting there like trying my best to sing along with them quietly. But, you know, like once we went 1-0 up, I knew that the game was over. I didn't have much doubt that we were going to win the game anyway, because no disrespect, Tottenham are worse than United are at the moment. And their sideshow is probably the only sideshow in the league that's as bad or worse than our sideshow. But yeah, I think we played well. I was happy that Ollie changed something. Obviously, he's still not the man for the job for me. But I'm happy he changed something, and we looked a lot better. We looked a lot solid with 3 at the back. I like how Cavani and Ronaldo linked up with each other, especially for the second goal. Bruno wasn't as bad. The centre backs were solid, but again, we're going to need to test it on another team, on a team other than Tottenham, because I don't know what's going on with Harry Kane at the moment. I know he's unhappy to be at Spurs, but I've never seen a downing of tools like I'm seeing right now from a player. That he didn't even look like he wanted to score. I promise you, I could have done more on that football pitch than he did yesterday. And that's a really, really damning indictment on him. His professionalism is poor. He's been so bad, he shouldn't even get called up to the next England squad. That's how bad he's been.
Bro.
He's not done anything. And if you're calling someone up based on their form leading into the international break, why should he play? Why should he play?
I hear you. It'd be interesting to hear your views on this, Pat, because I've spoken to 1 or 2 people. I hate this phrase "downing tools." I just think it's an easy way for people to judge people. But we saw a lot of poor performances from the Spurs players yesterday. It wasn't just Harry Kane. What are your thoughts, Pat? Is it more of a collective thing? Is Harry Kane the poison egg, like what people try to label Paul Pogba to be? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I said on the Friday night, like basically on the Friday night on the Terrace show on Friday night, that if I was Nuno or if I was the manager of Spurs, I would have dropped Harry Kane for this game, and I still stand by that. Seeing what I saw, he deserves to be dropped, man. How many times can you give a guy an excuse? No matter how good a player is, no matter how much quality they have in them, if they're not performing and you can see it's just lackluster performances, there's no desire, no heart, he needs to get dropped. The only problem Tottenham have is that in the summer, they didn't get an adequate replacement. So it's very hard to drop Kane right now when there's no other striker to come in. Last year, we had Bale, we had Vinicius. This year, both of those guys obviously weren't replaced to a degree. So yeah, I would have dropped Kane. We could play a fluid front 3 like we did against Man City, where obviously Kane wasn't available for whatever reason. That would have probably given us more joy. Nuno is just a waste man. I've been saying it all year that I didn't want Nuno in. I mean, he's just a diabolical manager. The in-game tactical management is poor. As soon as I saw, as you guys know, I said from the beginning of the week that we were going to lose on Saturday. And I said we would lose quite comfortably. I predicted a 2-0 Semps, as you said, as you saw. You and I were going back. You didn't believe what I was saying was real, but I knew what I said was real. Obviously, in the end, I said you guys would win quite comfortably as well and keep a clean sheet. Lo and behold, you won 3-0, and it's even more comfortable than what I thought it would be. I just know at the moment, this Spurs team, the thing is, obviously every team in the Premier League has quality, and we know the Spurs team does have quality. But right now, with the way that we're set up, the way everything's lined up, I just knew it was going to be a battering. And regarding what's happening, I mean, Nuno taking off Lucas Moura, who was our most dangerous and most basically the biggest threat that we had at that moment in time, to take him off when we were 1-0 down. You heard the state. I've never heard boos in a stadium like that in regarding a decision. That just showed me there that Nuno had lost the fans, he'd lost the dressing room, and he just didn't know what he was doing. So, yeah, well-deserved win for Man United. Unfortunately, I predicted it. The thing is, I always like to keep it real, even though people try and jump on me. I had a lot of people jumping on me when I said that Spurs would lose. Obviously, Tottenham fans not happy that I wasn't backing Spurs. Other people saying that I was just trying to be smart about it. But I just try and keep it real and say how I feel and what I think is going to happen. That way, even if it doesn't happen, at least I know I was honest with myself. And as you guys saw, that's what came into fruition. United, the thing is, like I said, Ollie would... back against the wall, Ollie knows how to pull. The thing is, you got to give Ollie some credit, because every time his back is against the wall, he pulls something out. Don't know how he does it, but he does it. The players turned up for him. And you guys, like when I saw the United team play, I saw that there was some fight and some desire in there. There's no way people can say that Ollie's lost the dressing room, because I saw the players put a shift in. So when you look at
the dressing room,
nah, he hasn't.
No, I actually think they like him. In fact, I'm sure they like him, especially the younger lot. The Rashfords, the Greenwoods, Martials, and them, like Sancho. I'm sure they all like him. The problem is with Ollie, though, he's just not a competent coach.
Yeah,
no disrespect to him. He's a great manager. I think the way that he manages players individually is up there with the best in the league.
Do you think so, though? Saying that, sorry to interject. What about Van der Beek and
Donny Van der Beek? The thing with Donny, in my opinion, he's not an Ollie signing, right? I don't think Ollie wanted him at any point. And if he did, Ollie's realized really quickly that he doesn't fit the way he would like to play. And I don't see a problem with that if that's the reason. The problem that we have is that we have players that have not been performing. He's done more than enough to warrant an extended 2-3 game run. So at least we can see what he's about. We don't take the training. We can't see him in training. We don't know what he's doing in training. All Ollie ever says about him is that he trains well, that he's a good player, and that he'll get his chance, which is not true, because he gets garbage time minutes in the League Cup, and even when he played well against West Ham in the League Cup, he's not featured since. He was our best player in the League Cup against
man of the match against West Ham. 100%.
And he's not featured since. All that tells me is Ollie doesn't trust him. Ollie doesn't rate him.
We've already put this one up for you. We don't need to streak your ego anymore. We're talking about Van der Beek and them man there. Carry on, please. A1. I don't
know. Even the likes of Pogba when he hasn't been performing, McTom when he's not performing, Fred when he's not performing, even Bruno to extent when he hasn't been performing. Van der Beek still can't seem to get a look in 3 different areas of midfield that he can play. He can play in DM, he can play in centre mid, and he can play in attacking mid. And there have been times where all 3 of those positions, the players that we've had playing in there have been stinking. And he's still not getting a chance. I actually thought he was going to play yesterday. I thought, nah, you can't play Tom, Fred, and Bruno again after that performance against Liverpool. Lo and behold, they did, and we picked up the result. But yeah, man. So going back to Ollie's man management, I think the vast majority of the squad, it's his strong point, and he's a very likable character. But you can tell by his press conferences, you could tell by post-match interviews, you could just tell because of the way he speaks. It's all about heart, it's all about passion, it's all about desire. I don't hear him ever talk about overlaps. I don't hear him ever talking about hands of play. I don't hear him ever talking about combinations. I never hear anything like this because he doesn't actually understand these things. And the coaching staff we've got behind him, some of them are still doing their badges. Michael Carrick's not a full coach yet. He's still doing his badges. So at the moment, the whole management setup for me is not one that's designed to take forward the best team or the biggest team in world football. It's not. And until we sort that out, we're never going to get over the hump ever. As much as I wish and I hope that we can, it just won't happen. And that's really sad. And if Ollie really did love United, I know it's everyone's dream job. Every United fan wants to manage United. I understand it. But when you know what you're doing is to the detriment of the club, you need to give it up. And we respect Ollie a lot more if he said, you know what, I've done what I can. Now it's time for someone else. Because he'll still get credit. When we start winning, he'll still get credit. Because he put us in this position that we're in now.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
I hear you, man. London Leeds. As an outsider looking in, obviously you're a Leeds fan, so big rivalry there. What are your thoughts on what you see at Manchester United since obviously you got beat up at Old Trafford on the first day of the season and everything? Yeah. What are you seeing since at Old Trafford?
They've got a man, as he said, who's a man manager. He's not a tactician. He's not a coach. He's not bringing players on and making them better than what they already are. He's not going to take players on to a next level. And if United want to challenge for the top, they've got to get a top coach. Simple as. So I've got friends who are United fans. They're all echoing the same thing. He's telling the guys, go out there and have a great game. He's not talking about any tactical, how to press, how to, patterns of play. None of that's taking place in training sessions. It's very clear. But I'm all for Ollie at the wheel.
Word.
United ain't doing anything. I'm going on with the same foolishness they're going on with. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, it's only a matter of time before you get shocked because he's not going to pick up points against City or Atalanta. I can't see it. Tottenham are a bad side. I hate to say it, pal, but turning up and beating Tottenham with Cavani, Ronaldo, not hard.
But it's like a cycle, though, ain't it? Though it's like a cycle for United. They'll go lose 2-3 games. Then the same questions are going to be asked. Ollie has 2 games or 3 games. Then Ollie goes and wins. So at the end of the day, with Ollie, if it keeps happening, it shows one thing: they're not gonna win with this guy. You're just not gonna win. And I don't understand it. If everyone knows this, if everyone who watches football knows this, then how don't United actual board not know this? It makes no sense to me. You got a quality squad there. You got like Ronaldo, Varane, but even at the start of the season, with them players, I didn't think you'll be challenging. Whereas you should be challenging. And it goes down to the manager. Like Ollie, if I'm a United fan, I have no faith in him. But you should be. It makes no sense to me. How, I understand Ollie done a good job because you have to remember that United since Sir Alex Ferguson left, we're a bit yo-yo. You've had a couple of managers, and Ollie put the fundamentals back in.
He steadied the ship, man.
Yeah, he steadied the ship.
Yeah.
But you're United. You're the biggest club in the world, or one of the biggest clubs in the world. You can't have the steady of the ship. Yeah, let's keep him. You have to win trophies. You have to. And right now with him, I don't see you guys winning any trophies, and you've struggled as well. He always fumbles the bag at the last second. So it's like, as a neutral, I'm happy. I want Ollie to stay, and I was happy about the result yesterday. With all due respect, I know everyone's talking about, but Tottenham haven't been good this season, so it's paper over cracks for me. It's calm. United can win that game, and I know what's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 games. They might go win next 2, but it's always at the final stage. They're always going to fumble, and it goes down to the manager.
Yeah, you know what? And this is stuff I've echoed time and time again on this platform. A1 has echoed the same things, and we've now just had it 2 separate fans that are basically saying the same thing. So we know what the issue is. We know what needs to be done. If we was to quickly just move on to Nuno before we changed and we move on, I wanted to get your thoughts, D, because obviously, you support a London club as well. I apologize to Pat. I got quite on him for him thinking that they were going to win that we were going to win 2-0 and it was going to be comfortable. I really couldn't see it. I thought, Pat, you're chatting crap. There's no way Man United go and keep a clean sheet and be comfortable, and flipping out, it happened. So, Pat, I owe you an apology. You were right. Man United, as you say, but Nuno, what are you saying about Nuno, D? We're going to get Pat's thoughts on this, but as an outsider looking in, what are your thoughts on Nuno?
It's a joke. Honestly, it's a joke. When you look at Nuno, before he actually joined Tottenham, who was he linked with? With Palace. We was on the verge of getting Nuno. Yeah. And the only reason why we didn't get Nuno is because he wanted 50 guys working at the training ground, and he had lots of staff that we weren't willing to pay for. That's the only reason. Otherwise, right now, Nuno would be at Palace. So if Palace were trying to get a manager, if you're Tottenham Hotspur, if you're a top 6 club, why would you go and try to get the same manager that Palace could attract? It makes no sense. You have to do better than that. And, you know, it goes down to, once again, I talked about United's board, but it goes down to Tottenham's board. Like, what are you doing? Like, I just don't get it. You had all that time to go and find a replacement. There were so many names linked. And yes, of course, you can't go and get every single manager out there. But, like, you have to be doing better than that. He struggled at Wolves. Forget about Nuno being linked with Palace. There's a reason why Wolves fans weren't that upset when he left, because he's like the Portuguese Roy Hodgson. Why would the Portuguese Roy Hodgson be at Tottenham trying to... if you're Tottenham, you need to have an attacking manager. Like, the fans, of course, are going to boo you. So it's one of those things where, like, they started the season off well in terms of, like, 2 games, I think it was. You beat City as well, and you kept...
3 games. We won 3 games on the spin, 1-0.
So I was thinking maybe because it's so defensive, maybe you might go and nick games 1 or 2, but it looks like a shambles. You have Harry Kane just looking like a joke out there. You just have the whole squad, even the subs yesterday. I was in a car on the way back from the Etihad. I was listening, and the fans were literally booing him for taking off Lucas Moura. Like, if the fans are booing you at this stage, clearly there's no process there. Just abandon it. Like, the process is done. He needs to be sacked. I think he is going to be sacked. And the appointment didn't make any sense in the first place. But it goes down to the people who are appointing him once again. All these football clubs, the big clubs, they're not run properly.
It's the problem. Yeah, it's the problem. Pat, let me hear your views, because obviously we know your views on Nuno. But, you know, do you think that they will pull the plug on him, or does he last the majority of the season?
No, he's
How
gone.
did you feel when you was in the stadium yesterday? That moment when Moura came off. What was that like when you was in the stadium yesterday?
Listen, I knew he was a goner when I saw the team sheet. When I saw Ben Davies starting at left back, and what was it, Lo Celso starting as a number 10, I knew it was curtains already. I predicted we would lose, but when I see Ben Davies, like, you see how much space Wan-Bissaka had yesterday. Wan-Bissaka isn't even an attacking fullback. Don't get me wrong, I like Wan-Bissaka. He's a good player. But the way he was just pulling strings and conducting on that left-hand side, because Davis was his man marker, it was embarrassing. So, yeah, as soon as I saw that lineup, I knew he was in trouble. When he pulled off Lucas, it was curtains. And he'll be gone. I think he's gone tonight, to be fair. I don't think he'll last he'll see out tomorrow. He's done. It's so toxic now at the moment. Everyone can see that he's not the man to take us forward. He should have never been appointed. And I said this all summer. I got called negative and this and that. We just got to be honest. Like D saying, like, he struggled at Wolves last year. I know they lost a few players. Jimenez was out injured for the season with the head injury. They lost Jota to Liverpool, Doherty to Tottenham. But still, a better manager should know the team, obviously oversee the signings coming in and do better. He's not good enough. Yeah.
But Pat, the only thing that baffles me, but what I'm thinking now is, obviously you ended up with him because there was a long list of managers that you probably were going for that you couldn't get. You ended up with Nuno. You sack Nuno now. What happens? Who do you bring in?
This is it. This is just how badly managed the club is. And the thing is, in the summer, we were linked to so many managers, and essentially we were meant to be after Ten Hag. He was one of the key candidates. Then we was meant to be after Conte, blah. But the thing is, because we kept chopping and changing, there was no clear direction. We didn't zone in or hone in on one manager and go for him. We kept moving around. Oh, Pochettino might be available. Let's run to Poch. Oh, Conte might be available. Let's run to... And then Ten Hag and all the other guys are like, hold on, you're not that serious then. Why should I leave my job to come here when you don't really want me? And that's why we're in this mess. So to be fair, if they sack Nuno, which they should do anyway, who do you bring in? That's the problem. So Semps, to be honest, I don't have the answer to that. This board is a joke. Levy out, Nuno out, and yeah, man, it's a problem. It's a problem.
Ryan Mason in.
It's
right,
mad.
he might be coming back. That's what I saw. He might be coming back.
It's mad.
Which in itself is a problem. But someone left a comment there talking about 8 or 9 managers that they tried. But what was the reason why they couldn't get their managers in the first place?
Like I said, the project
it still goes down to the owners. So they might try it, but at the end of the day, they clearly couldn't sell it. Like, if you're a top manager, you want to manage in the Premier League. You want to manage for a big club. So what was it with Levy?
It's Nuno. Sorry, it's not Nuno. It's Levy. Levy, people don't agree or believe in him anymore. I know Pochettino came in and Poch really push Levy's brand, and people believe that Levy's the mastermind and this and that. He wasn't. It was just he got lucky with Pochettino. Pochettino was his third choice, by the way. He didn't even want Poch.
Who was he first to?
It was LVG, and then it was somebody else. I can't remember, but luckily they didn't pan out. Poch came in and
Because
just
LBG was linked to you first, wasn't he?
yeah, LVG was our first choice.
Yeah,
but
he
for
was.
whatever reason
Before he
didn't
come
work
to
out.
us. Before he come to us.
He was, and then I
Oh,
can't remember who was the second
really?
choice. Yeah,
Yeah,
seriously.
yeah, he
Poch was our third choice. So we lucked out with Poch. Poch did wonderful things with us, and then Levy obviously got ahead of his station, and he tries to oversee too much. You know, he was the director of football and the chairman for so long. Now we got a director of football in, and it's still a bit too late. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens. But Levy will have to give assurances to whoever wants to come in at this stage of the season, and that's where we're going to struggle, because we all know what Levy's like.
Levy's on a bit of a power trip, isn't he? Like,
Yeah, he is.
He doesn't. He won't relinquish like enough
Rights.
control
Yeah.
for a gaffer to actually do his job properly.
Exactly.
He wants to oversee everything. He wants to be a part of everything. It's like sometimes, like, listen, just do the background stuff.
Yeah,
and
take a step back and chill out.
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's one of the only chairmen that wants to be at the forefront of everything. A good chairman, you don't need to see him. He shouldn't be visible.
He shouldn't even know what he looks like.
Exactly. We shouldn't even know really what he's about. Just at the end of the season, and when you win a trophy, you see him lifting it up and everyone's clapping. And Gary Neville saying, "Oh, well done" to blah blah blah. Like the Leicester guy, we don't hear about the Leicester guy other than when they're, you know what I mean, celebrating.
Yeah, for real. No, that's right.
Wicked. All right then, man. People in the comments, thank you very much for leaving your comments. Keep leaving them. I'll keep trying to post and respond as much as we can. We'll move on to the next game, which is Norwich 1, Leeds 2, London Leeds. We want to hear from you, man. London born, and he supports Leeds. It's a bit of a mad thing, so you can only imagine the roller coaster that he's been over the last few years. What are you saying about today, man?
A performance wasn't there. We haven't hit that level yet. Ain't touched it since pre-season. But I'm, as I said earlier, I'm confident it's coming round. Got a few injuries, quite a few to be honest with you. Missing Bamford, Firpo, Ayling. So our width, which comes from our wing backs. I mean, our fullbacks isn't there at the moment. But essentially, it's 3 points on the board. And at the moment, with our position, it's not looking rosy. So I just want to back as much points as possible before our December run-in. We got the big teams and essentially just move away from the bottom three. But I've been a little bit this season, a bit disgruntled with our recruitment. I haven't been happy with it. If you follow me on Twitter, you've seen I've mentioned it a few times. Recruitment, I feel, has been a little bit off the boil, a bit hit and miss. Obviously, Rafa's great. Rodrigo, 27, 29 million, whatever they paid. There's still question marks. He's coming into his second season. He's supposed to be kicking on. Not really seeing it. He is creating a lot if you look at the statistics, but fundamentally on the pitch, the goals and assists, the actual numbers aren't there. But apart from that, as I said, we haven't looked good since pre-season. Anyone who saw our pre-season knew we were a little bit off the boil, but I'm hoping it's a slow burner. And essentially, come crunch time, we're safe and then we can push on next year. The match itself, yeah, it was bit part. Wasn't much to say for it. It was back and forth. If any of you lot did see, it was just back and forth. Yeah. We scored a good goal. Rafa again pulled it out of the bag as he always does. He's our main threat. Everything has to go through him at the moment, which is a little bit, for me, essentially isn't good enough. We do need a bit more. I don't know how you, man, robbed us for 25 mil for Dan James because
I needed to ask you about this. This is going to be a question.
Honestly, I'm not on this thing to badmouth any players, but 25 mil is what 22 million too much, bro. He's not worth. He's not worth it for me personally. He's not the type of guy I'd be bringing in if I am, the manager of Leeds. He's not the type of man I'm looking to bring in. He doesn't offer enough. And the players we were linked with to the players we actually signed, boy, I don't know what's going on. I'd love to ask those questions to people upstairs and get a fundamental answer. How's this decision been made to bring this guy in? Because I'm not saying he's a bad player, and eventually, when he learns the system, he obviously, I feel he can deliver something. But I just, so far, 25 mil seems like a lot.
Yeah, man. I always wondered like how he fits in a Bielsa system. If I'm honest with you, do you think it was Bielsa? Did Bielsa wanted him?
Yeah, it's work rate. So fundamentally, he's been signed over other players over his work rate and his ability to track back. In our system, we are left open. Everyone knows it. Man for man, we will get picked off if you can't track back. So essentially, he's been signed on his pace and his ability to work hard on and off the ball. So as I said, not the type of player I would be going after. There's other characteristics in wingers I'll be looking for. Against beating a man in a 1v1 for me is vitally important. I don't think he brings that to our team. Playing a man-for-man system, you need to be able to do that. But as I said, essentially, he will deliver the goods because he's got sheer pace. And we are going to
that comment from Dash is so dumb.
I just see that. So, 3 points for me is what we needed, and the performances are going to click once the injuries come back.
Yeah, man. A1, what's your thoughts on Leeds, and does Bielsa deserve any criticism, or is you can't really label anything on his door for the way they play? And
I think because of the way that they play, they probably take a while, a little bit longer to recover at the end of the season, as opposed to some of the other teams. Like, you know, they're a very like high pressing, like high energy team, and you need serious levels of fitness to be able to play in the system. And I'm a big fan of Bielsa. I think he's a great coach. I think he's a great tactician as well. And I wouldn't be worried if I was a Leeds fan. I know Dan James 25 mil was a bit mad. We thank you. But you know, I think at the end quality will shine through, and you guys have 3 players that I'm gonna pick out right now. The goalkeeper Melier, how old is he? 21.
Yeah.
21, quality. Then you got Calvin James in centre midfield, another one. Another quality. Calvin Phillips, another one, quality player. And then obviously you got star man Rafinha, who is unreal. Is Bamford injured at the moment?
Yeah, he's injured.
Yeah, okay. So he's been injured for a little bit still. It's gonna come. I think you suffered a little bit of a hangover. You had a really good season last season.
Yeah.
You're just suffering a little bit of a hangover. Once you get into the feel of things a bit more, I know that it's been a little bit choppy and changey for you guys this season.
Yeah.
Obviously, you didn't have the best start at Old Trafford, so you know you had the hangover of last season. But I think a win like this can really like kickstart a season, because it wasn't easy either. You had to grind this out, man. Everyone, you know, Norwich are the whipping boys, and obviously you got the job done at the end, and you were good value for the 3 points. But sometimes you need to dig deep. Do you know what I mean? You win a game when you've dug deep and you've won that game, and it's like, confidence going forward. I'm not sure your next 2-3 fixtures, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Leeds have a little upward trajectory. Do you know what I mean?
Leicester, so
Leicester at home. I'm assuming.
Yeah, Leicester at home.
Leicester aren't great at the moment. You know.
I know we can pick up points, but just to add on that comment about Bielsa, like without Bielsa, we're not here. Simple fact. Without Bielsa, we're actually getting relegated. So the comments about the system needs to change his play, fundamentally for me, don't work. The players we have, you guys need to bear in mind, a lot of them were bottom half of the championship players. They're still playing. He's still getting levels out of them no one else could. It's just about moving the team on. So we need to get through the season. We need to stay up. For me, it's not even a question mark.
That won't be hard.
Yeah, no, we're staying up.
Yeah, Leeds are staying up. Leeds are staying up, man.
I understand what you said about having low-level championship players. I think you're being a bit harsh. I think now, especially your best 11 is a solid Premier League team. I have you lot around the likes of like the Villas of the league. Probably personnel-wise, not as good as them, but we will see what having a great gaffer does.
All right, cool. Right?
Yeah. And your gaffer is great. Yeah. So bringing your gaffer into it, the tactics, obviously they got Dean Smith. You saw what happened to them earlier. Trash. But you know, with a gaffer like Bielsa, who's been around the block, he's managed top teams, he's managed in Europe. He will get the best out of these players. He has been getting the best out of these players. And you know what I loved about Leeds, because I used to watch them in the Championship religiously. But when I was back in the days when I used to do my ACCAs all the time, I always like to keep up with the lower leagues. And they went on a run. I can't remember what season it was. I don't know if it was the season before they came into the Prem or the season before that, because I know they bottled it. In fact, it might have been the season where they bottled it, actually.
Yeah.
They lost to Derby in the playoffs. They've been on a serious run. They went on a serious run, like constant, like wins, a little draw here and there, and then it just plummeted at the end because of the high intensity of the work rate that the players need. So the question that I was going to ask you is, do you think sometimes he works the players too hard, and can he start, in order to get them to play at an optimum level for the whole season? Is there anything he can do, I don't know, like with his training or his methods that can sustain them at the same level for 38 games? Because obviously in the season that I've cited, they did start here and they plummeted all the way to here. Do you know what I mean? So what's your thoughts on that?
All right, so this is a criticism labeled out Bielsa everywhere he's gone. So fundamentally, this is, for me, a myth. We finished last season extremely strong. Yeah, fantastic finish to the season. We didn't struggle. I think we picked up more points in the second half of the season, if I'm correct. I might be wrong on that, but I think we did. So this burnout or being overworked for me essentially is not true. Statistically, we do run as hard in the second half of the season as we do at the start of the season. What for me the problem is players reach a ceiling. They only reach a ceiling. Like, you can't take a man from somewhere and make him into a Ballon d'Or winner. He doesn't have those levels. So at the moment, what we're seeing is new players coming in, who are still adapting to this man v man system, the way Bielsa needs you to work. So many times when I'm watching a game, a guy's losing his man. So Firpo's been the biggest culprit of it. I don't hold it against him. He's come from La Liga. We all saw what happened to Saúl Nunes on his debut. He got hacked off after 45 minutes. We know what's going on if you come to the Prem. He's done well for me. We got to give these new players a bit of time to embed it. James is one of them. As I said, 25 million is a lot. He's one of them. He needs to learn it. Firpo needs to learn it. And again, I know you're saying the coach is amazing and he gives everyone levels, but there's certain guys in our team who could just about make it in the championship. He's given them something, and it's only so far they can go. So for me, the burnout thing's a myth, and I'm so confident towards the back end of this season, those players setting the tactics in, we're going to be pushing on. We'll be pushing on, mate.
I'll be real. Like, talking about players that Bielsa's improved, Bamford was at Palace, and the only thing that I saw the guy do is to flick his hair. Like, seriously, he didn't look like a footballer out there. And that's why, as Palace fans, when we see Bamford play, we're like, hold up, that can't be the right. Like, who is that? Because he didn't look like a footballer with us. And then afterwards, he, of course, revived his career under Bielsa. But it shows, to be fair, with Leeds, like, yes, like, you are a massive club, but you just got promoted back to the Premier League. Like, the expectations are already too high due to the fact that you guys play a different style of football. You're going to have your ups and your lows. At the end of the season, if you still stay up and if you progress by trying to improve the squad, getting the players used to it as well, then that's still progress. Like, you can't just come to the Premier League and straight away go top six. Like, it's near enough impossible. And it's going to take a bit of time. We're talking about this as well. You guys have only played, 10 games this season? So it's barely anything. And you've got injuries as well. You've got some quality young players. I think it was a player that came on last week that I saw. What was his name? And he's crazy. He's crazy. I didn't watch the game today. I don't know if he started. But you got something there with Bielsa. Like, there's no need to even talk about Bielsa getting sacked. I think it'll be just like foolish.
I've seen it though. I've seen people talking those whispers.
But that's what it's like though. Social media just overreactionary.
When you say people, London Leeds fans or just outsiders?
Do you know what? I can't call these people Leeds fans. Fundamentally, for screaming Bielsa out,
that's mad. Yeah, that's mad.
I don't care what you say in your bio. I don't care if you've got Leeds flags everywhere. You're not a fan. Fundamentally, if you're asking for this guy to go after a dip of form, you are not a fan. He's openly said it when we're in the championship. We've had these dips. As long as the players believe in my methods and we train the way we're training and we play the way we play, we will beat teams. It's going to happen. You can't always be on top. It just doesn't work like that.
Wicked. This last bit here. Potter at Leeds would be interesting if Bielsa leaves at the end of the season. I don't think he will be leaving though, but that would definitely be interesting. RJH, big up to yourself, dropping loads of comments. Thank you very much. Let's move on, people, to the next game. Whew. Manchester City 0, He's been like, when are we gonna talk about this game? When are we gonna talk about this game? Like you got a guy in there. Was you at the game then? You said something about driving back from
he was there.
Talk to us, man. What was it saying?
Bro, I don't know where to start. I'll be real. Look, before the game, I was predicting us to get just like smashed, like 4-1. I think you're at the Etihad, the style of football that we're trying to do now with Viera is high risk, high reward as well. So I was thinking you're going to go there and, they're just going to absolutely destroy us. But when you look at it, when I actually got in the car with others, and when I was driving up there, I said, you know what, every Palace fan is basically saying we're not going to win. And our luck over the last 4 games has been horrendous as well. We conceded in the last seconds against Arsenal, last seconds against Brighton. I was like, it will be so Palace to go there and actually go and get a win. And we went and we done it. And you know what? As I talked about off show, Viera, guys are noticing it now, but Viera, the disrespect as soon as he joined Palace, I personally don't get it. No one really knew about Viera. Couple guys, of course, they watched, the MLS. They watched French
Nice,
football, Nice
Nice.
as well. Yeah, but majority of the people haven't. Like, I couldn't judge Viera. I was excited because I'm bored of the same managers coming and getting recycled over and over again. Viera wasn't our first choice. Viera was our last choice, and I like the underdog. Viera came in as an underdog at Palace to go and prove a point. He brought his backroom stuff. But the one difference between Palace and Tottenham, I'll say, is that we backed Viera. And you know what? I love him, bro. I love this guy. He is like the amount of stress I was going through the last couple of years under Roy Hodgson. Look, he kept us up, but we wasn't even playing football at times. If that was a Roy Hodgson side and we went City, he managed to get a win there, Roy Hodgson, before. But if we went yesterday and if we just approached it with a similar way, we'll just got absolutely destroyed. Viera knew how to make us hit. Viera knew how to make us hit City on the counter. We defended for our lives at times, but we've only had one bad performance this season. We've only had 2 wins, but we've only had one bad performance.
Should have had more wins though, innit, D? Should have had more
exactly,
wins.
as I said, in the last 3 to 4 games, we've bottled it. We bottled it in the last seconds. So it's our reward. I feel like football, you'll have your lows like that, and then at some point, it'll get back to you, and you'll manage to get all 3 points. And we managed to do it against City, and people not need to start respecting Palace for, but respect Viera a bit more. I'm not saying he's going to be a success straight away. It's only 10 games. I get that. But we've had one of the hardest fixtures. And the guy has just joined the club after 4 years of negative football, trying to play a whole different style of football. And he's made all the players believe. Zaha wants to play for Palace now. I think he's happy to stay at Palace. Whereas you heard it every single season that Zaha wanted to leave. Look at all the other players at the training ground. They love him, bro. And as a Palace fans as well, like, we're into this. Like, we're happy with Viera. We're happy for him to ride the ride, and we'll see what happens. Come into the season, we might finish, not 18th, but we might finish 70th or 60th. We might struggle, but it's about trust in the process. And you know what? Viera's given us hope, because it was looking awful before Viera brought in new players, and got the win yesterday. I'm so happy.
So what about the game though? In the game in itself, how did Palace perform? Was it a bad day at the office for City, or did Palace exploit some sort of weakness that we maybe seeing in the City side at the minute?
How Palace, look, everyone's going to say City had a bad day. I think that's the easy thing to say. You're going to look at City, they lost at home. City had a bad day, they couldn't score a goal. But I think you have to give credit to Palace as well. At times, as I said, we did defend for our lives, but we had a purpose. Look at all the interviews after the game. All the players out there knew what they were doing. Palace were well coached. Palace, it wasn't, there was a reason why we didn't. Of course, we got lucky with VAR. They scored a goal. It was offside. I don't know if that's luck or it was offside.
It was clearly offside.
But like City, we know how they like playing out wide. So what Viera done was he put Jordan Ayew instead of Olise in this game, because Jordan Ayew is better defensively. City couldn't overload us out wide because we had 3 against 2 at all times. So they couldn't do that. But that was down to Viera. Kouyaté filling in the pockets that City like to pass into. Once again, that was not a coincidence. That was down to Viera. So what we've done was, at times when you look at a match of the day, maybe yes, we did sit back, but we was very good on a counter attack. And you're looking at Palace versus City. Look at the squad; they're bringing on world class players off the bench, so you can't really go toe to toe with them. Viera did change it, but he had a game plan and it worked, and that's what I'm happy about. Finally, we're not just going out there and praying for a result; we're actually trying to go and win games, and we got it. Clean sheet at Etihad. Not many teams can say that. Not many teams.
It's true, man. Pat, you know, you see obviously what's happening at your club, and then you see what's happening there at Palace with a new manager. You know, how good do you think Viera has been, and what do you think his ceiling is at Crystal Palace?
You know what? That's a great question, because to be fair to you, D, when you signed Viera, I didn't think much of it. If I'm being honest, just got to hold my hands up. I saw what he did in the MLS. I saw what he did at Nice. I thought, okay, cool, whatever. But he's come in and he surprised me. He shocked me because, like you said, D, you guys are set up with a purpose. There's actually a system. And to be fair, Viera already knows his best 11. He knows who he's bringing off the bench. He knows how to change a game. But only gripe was him in the Arsenal game when he made that defensive substitution. When he brought on who did he bring on now? Tompkins in the last couple minutes. That pissed me off, because you lot had that game, and then when you sat back, you just invite the pressure in. But other than that, he's done fantastic, and it just goes to show, Sems, as we always say, you and I. Coach makes a team, man. You can have the best personnel in the world, the best players. If you ain't got the right coach, or a coach that actually believes in himself, then you know that you're in trouble. Nuno, he doesn't believe in himself. When you're taking off your best player in a game to then do weird things, and you know when managers are too stubborn to just say, you know what, I've got it wrong, let me try something else, like the whole McFred debate, where Ollie won't change that for the world. No matter what team you're playing and no matter who you're going up against, you still won't change it. Those kind of guys, they're just not the right managers to manage big teams. But, you know, credit to Vieira, still early in the season. But so far, so good, man. Yeah, exactly. He's learning on the job, and so far, so good.
What happened there in the Arsenal game. That was so negative, and it seemed like he was a bit nervous. But what he does in this game, of course, City had a red card, and it was well deserved as well, because Zaha was free on goal. But what he done in this game, he even said it after the game. He brought on attacking substitutes. So the thing with Viera is no one expected him to be this good so early, because you got a whole different style of play. But what we're happy with as Palace fans, considering what's been happening since we got promoted, we've just been fighting relegation. Like every season, it's about staying up. We went through Sam Allardyce, Tony Pulis. We had Neil Warnock back at the club as well. We've gone through all of them. Alan Pardew. So it's something different. As Palace fans, we want Viera to grow with us. And what you saw in the Arsenal game, yes, it was negative, but he knows when he's wrong, because he goes to City and he doesn't do something like that. If he'd done that, then the same thing would have happened. I don't care if City have 10 men. City with 10 men are so well drilled that they will still cause you trouble.
And the players they got, they're just quality. They will get
He didn't panic.
He
didn't panic. So he's growing on the job. So us as Palace fans, yes, we were annoyed with conceding last-second goals, but as long as he wants to grow, as long as he acknowledges that maybe not that he's correct all the time, then if he knows that he has to make changes, and if he makes them changes, which he has done in the City game, because he didn't have to start Kouyaté, he didn't have to start Jordan Ayew. Olise is a better winger when you're looking at it, but he had a game plan. So if he notices these and if he makes some changes, then personally, I'm happy for Viera to grow at Palace, because I don't think he's the finished manager, and I think he will admit that as well. He still has lots of learning curves to go through, and at Palace we've seen already in the 5 games, like he's made mistakes, but we're still being happy with him because he makes some mistakes and he goes and he changes it up.
One thing I'll say is one thing as football fans, we should not forget that people do make mistakes. We all on this panel here, we make mistakes regular. In your jobs, you make mistakes. But what you would expect from a coach, like what you're saying, D, is if you do make a mistake, you learn from it. You don't do the same dumb stuff over and over again like my manager does. But he's recognized it. He changes things. So, that's all you would want from your manager, man. So, big up to Viera. He's doing some good stuff. As you say, it's 10 games in. But, hopefully he can continue. A1, I wanted to ask you, obviously, Man City just lost 2-0 at home to Palace. Their next opponents are Manchester United. Like, where do you see us going there? Do we see some cracks in their armory? Obviously, they ain't got that main striker that they should have probably got over a Grealish. But what do you reckon for next week, man?
People probably won't agree with me here, but I think we're gonna beat them.
I know.
It's been
Ollie's at the wheel. I said it.
No.
He's back.
When Ollie's back is at the wall.
Bro, first of all, that as well. Like when Ollie, hey, you see Ollie in the low post, yeah, back against the defender.
Trust me.
Literally, it's nothing but net with Ollie, bro. Ollie in the low post, nothing but net, my bro. I'm telling you. But to be honest, like a staple of his time at the club has been getting good results against Man City in the league. We haven't lost to them in the league in 2 seasons. We beat them and drew with them last season. I think we beat them and drew with them the season before as well. Or did we beat them twice? Say
that again, sorry.
Last season we beat them and drew with them.
6 points we got from them last season.
4 points. We had a 0-0. We had a 0-0.
The 0-0s was with Chelsea and thing. I'm pretty sure we
had a 0-0. We had a 0-0 with City. We got 4 points off City last season because then we beat them 2-0, didn't we?
I'm pretty sure it was 6, but I'm gonna check it. Carry on.
Yeah, have a look. And then the season before, I think we got 4 points off them again. But we definitely 0-0 drew with them last season. I think it was away because we beat them at home 2-0 or 2-0 because didn't Shaw score?
Shaw scored, yeah. We beat them 2-0 away from home. That wasn't at home.
0-0 at home. 2-0 away and 0-0 at home. That's where it was. Ollie seems to get these results against City, and the thing is, it's gonna kill me because listen, that is enough credit in the bank
100
to keep him in the job until the end of the season. We're not gonna have a run as bad as we've had for the rest of the season. And if we pick up points against City, it just justifies keeping him, and it's going to kill me. I hope. In fact, Pep might even just drop that game on purpose because they don't want Ollie going. And that's the truth, because you know what? City can make those points back. City are good enough, and we've seen it. City will go 10 straight wins, boom, 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 and in that time they'll beat a Liverpool and they'll beat a Chelsea. So they grab the points off them anyway. And then before you know it, they're 1 point behind. City might be like, you know what? We need to keep Ollie at will. So
for the greater good.
I don't want to be that guy.
It's not a charity 3 points. You know what I mean? But all jokes aside, if City
and you was right, by the way, it was 4 points last season. You was correct.
Yeah. If City play to the level that they're supposed to play to, then they should beat us, and they should beat us comfortably. But again, you know what it's like in football,
bro. Exactly, you know what it's like in football, man.
McTominay, he just turns into prime Viera when he plays City. I can't remember the last time he had a bad league game against City. That's true. I mean?
Man scoring from like
he always steps up. Pardon?
Home or away?
No, we're at home. We're at
home. So that's probably why we don't win, though, because if it was away from home,
it might even be a little draw.
That would be on smoke away from home.
How do you think he's going to approach it? Is he going to look at the Palace game? Is it going to be like, let's just sit back? Oh, you're not.
No,
that's the thing.
He's going to play 5 at the back again.
Yeah, Ollie's a counter-attacking gaffer, right? He's always been a counter-attacking gaffer. Away from home, that's what he sets out to do. Apart from against the terrible teams that that we're going to suffocate with possession anyway. Against bigger teams, Chelsea, the Liverpools, the Cities, the Arsenals, even Leicester,
the Spurs
we'll sit back.
Allow it.
I don't want to say Spurs because that was
Spurs comprehensive
yesterday. Still, that was comprehensive. But so it's always Ollie will have this counter-attacking style and literally just try and pick them off in that way. And I'm happy for him to go out with that. I'm happy for him to go out with that game plan on Saturday. But like City after a home loss against Palace, like something like they're gonna need a response. And I can't remember the last time City lost 2 games in a row. So I feel like we can win, but I'm still like I'm in the balance, really, to be honest with you. I'm not going to the game, so I'm not confident enough that we will win. So yeah.
It's an interesting point you make there about them losing 2 games in a row, man. But yeah, it probably is not going to happen. Be interesting to see what happens next week. If we was to move on now, we'll just touch on the last 3 big games from this weekend. Leicester 0, Arsenal 2. You know, there's a lot of Arsenal chat on this podcast, D and London.
We got to start with Patty on this one, boy.
Yeah.
So you know, let's get somebody's thoughts. I want to come to you, London Leeds, because I want to hear what your thoughts are on Arsenal. We all know what Patrick thinks, what I think. What are your thoughts on Arsenal? Have we sort of been judging them harshly so far this season because their recent run of results have been good, man?
I don't think any of the criticism they faced early in the season was harsh. It was warranted. You're Arsenal. You are Arsenal. Heritage. Okay. Heritage. They're one of the heritage clubs, right? Everyone looks at them as this model team, and they've been abysmal for a long time. They have turned the corner. They have. We have to, if you look at the results, they've turned the corner. Can they sustain it? Time will tell. But to be honest with you, I'm not sure about Arteta. I've said it from the start. I'm not sure about him. They've turned the corner. I think they're okay. I think they'll have another dip. I can't see them maintain it. They're just about qualified for Europe, but they're not the finished article.
You think they'll qualify for Europe?
They'll push for it. They'll push. They'll put. I'm talking a Europa Conference. I'm not talking Europa League. But they will push, but they're not. It's not. I wouldn't be an Arsenal fan. Be sitting there going, "Yeah, we're back." You're not back yet.
I've seen a lot of. I mean, I'm going to stay quiet for this, but I've seen a lot of people saying
we'll call him out. Jason is one of them. Man, he's happy to see now, boy.
I see it. I've not said nothing. I've been.
Yeah, I don't mind calling it out. I don't mind.
Hey, Jason, I love that guy. You know, bro.
They're not. I've seen it. I've seen it myself. They're screaming, "We're back! We're back! We're back!" Like, just take time.
Wait, So what's the Arsenal results? You know, this unbeaten run. So it's Brighton.
They drew with Brighton. They drew with Palace. Yep. And then they won. They beat Aston Villa. They beat Villa well. That was a good performance. And they won today. Good performance.
They beat Norwich. They beat us
today, but yeah.
So
they got any losses in between there though?
They ain't lost since they played Man City at the end of August. They ain't lost since then.
All right, here you go. Norwich 1-0. Norwich 1-0. Burnley 1-0. They beat Wimbledon in the Cup 3-0. Yeah. They beat Tottenham 3-1. 0-0 with Brighton. 2-2 with Crystal Palace. And then yesterday it was Friday 3-1 Villa. Not yesterday, October the 22nd. 2-0 Leeds. Yesterday 2-0 Leicester.
I'll be real. I wouldn't get carried away personally. Like, when you look at them, so the Palace game, I don't think they should have got a point against. I'm not saying as a Palace fan, but it's like a last minute thing, and you know, it was a bit lucky. The Brighton game, I was looking at that game in particular before they played us, because I was like, if Arsenal are back, if Arteta's doing his thing, then he's gonna go and try, because I've seen us play against Brighton, and Brighton, yes, they're doing well this season when you look at the league table. But Brighton, you can beat them. They didn't get a result against Brighton. But the one result that did surprise me, in all honesty, but maybe it's not that surprising now after the results that's happening, is Villa. When they beat Villa at home, I was like, this is... But in all honesty, you know, Leicester, we faced them as well. They haven't been that great this season. I know they beat United. They turned up for that game. But against Palace, they were like mediocre. We managed to get a draw against them as well, which we probably should have started. If we didn't have the individual mistakes, then we would have done better. Until Arteta and Arsenal go and win games against maybe some tougher opponents, I'm not going to say this, but they're back. And I might be criticized for this with Arsenal fans, because right now they're unbeaten, as you said, since August. But I'm just keeping it real. I don't think Arsenal are back yet. They're doing well. I think they're only 3 points off United, which is kind of crazy.
Joint points for United.
Yeah, joint points.
Joint points for United, which is kind of crazy.
And ahead of Spurs.
But as I said, when you look at the games, apart from the Villa game, maybe as I said, even that wasn't that exciting. Like there isn't any results there. There isn't any results there that's really like, oh wow. Like Tottenham, with all due respect, Patrick, like we beat you guys 3-0 as well. Like that was one of them things where every team is smacking you guys scoring 3 goals against you. So that was like normal. Like Arsenal.
It's the way that is he frozen or something? Because
I'm just listening. Can I just say something? Because obviously the Arsenal boys are very they're ahead of their station at the moment, and you know
he's going through. It's like, why did I come on?
It's great that Arsenal on a good run of form, but if you really look at it, if you actually deep it, Tottenham have been crap. We're only 2 points behind them. The fact is, both teams have won 5 games. Yeah. Arsenal have got 2 more points because they were very fortunate against Palace. They shouldn't have got any points in that game. And they were very fortunate against Brighton. They got played off the park against Brighton and they should have lost that game, but they picked up a draw. So that they're 2 points ahead of Tottenham. All we're seeing is Arsenal back. Arsenal turned the corner. All the players we brought in the summer, this, that, the third, they're only 2 points ahead of Tottenham. And we've been shit. We've definitely been shit. What is it? They're level on points with Man United. Man United haven't been anything great either. So if this is Arsenal at the optimum, haven't winning games left, right, and center, haven't dropped points since August or whatever, and they're only 2 points ahead of these teams. And yeah, I'm not gassed.
Like? A1, wait, A1, come to A1.
Let me tell you something about Arsenal, right? The games that they're coming back from. So, for example, they came back against Villa and picked up a point. They drew with Brighton 0-0. 3 weeks ago or something. These are games that last season that they would have lost, right? I think Arteta is getting the best out of a lot of his forward players at the moment. Aubameyang seems like he's interested in the game again. Smith Rowe's playing really well. Saka's always playing well. You got Lacazette that will come and chip in. He's got Thomas Partey actually playing games now, right? So he's beginning, and these are Arteta players. So he's beginning to get the best out of the squad he has. Are they better than the top teams in the league? No, they are not, right? But at the moment, when you're playing well and luck is on your side, you will continue to pick up these points. Like they got played off the park by Crystal Palace the other week. Played off the park, and then they got lucky in the last, and then they got lucky in the last minute to grab a draw. The one issue that I will say about Arsenal, the one problem that they have is why they're going to fall short and they might not even make the top 6 is because the mentality that these players have is terrible. I see Lacazette running and celebrating.
Did you see that?
Right against Crystal Palace. My friend, are you on drugs? You are an Arsenal player.
Should have grabbed the ball.
There's no time left.
Grab the ball and run and say, let's go and get the winner. That's 100%.
And the mentality thing has been there since they beat West Brom in the League Cup in August. They won like 6-0 or something.
Yeah,
and they're all doing special celebrations.
Yeah. Backflips against under 18s. You know what, A1? It takes me back to, when Dan James scored. And was down,
against Palace,
and then your boys pushed him and said, "What are you celebrating for?" Exactly.
It was against Palace.
1-1.
It was against Palace.
And it was like,
bro, what are you doing?
Exactly. You know what I mean? Why are you celebrating? Grab that ball and let's go and get the winner.
Lacazette is a senior player at Arsenal. He's one of the players that a man look up to. How can Smith Rowe and Saka look at man celebrating a 2-2 draw?
But boys, one thing, I'm very vocal, getting onto Arsenal, getting onto Jason, getting onto enough Arsenal man out there. But what I would say is, I think it's a valid, not even an excuse, it's just a valid point to hear that they had 7 starters out of their first 3 games. They did play the likes of Manchester City and who was the other one? Chelsea as well. So he's saying here, Dizzy, no Ramsdale, no Gabriel. White hadn't signed Tomiyasu, no Partey, Pepe, Aubameyang and Lacazette out with COVID. London Leeds. Do we are we taking any of that into account? Because considering, look, they have been on a good run now since the Manchester City thing. However you pick up points, you've picked up points.
All right, absolutely. Injuries do count, and you can say it played a part in some of their poor form at the start of the season. But as you guys have been talking here, as I like to do, I like to look at numbers. The Brighton game was a shambles, and that's a recent game. Now, they had Aubameyang, Smith Rowe, Saka, Partey, Gabriel, basically their first 11.
Everyone, yeah.
They had everyone. Have you seen the statistics on that game? Brighton managed 21 shots against 8. They got outplayed.
Yeah, they did. They
the whole game. And they've just bagged a draw. This is what I'm trying to say to you. They've been lucky.
But what about the games since, though, London Leeds, that they've performed well in against Villa, which I thought was a real... They beat Man United, though.
Come on, mate. And we all know Oli doesn't know how to play.
Leicester, they put in a proper performance against Leicester as well.
I'm not having that. They've lost their last 4 games, Villa, and Villa are on the same amount of points as Leeds. Are you trying to tell me they're playing well, bro? I'm not having none of that. Villa is not. No, I don't want to hear no one telling me about Arsenal played Villa off the park. That is, bro, that can't work. You got to remember what I said at the start. This is Arsenal. We're talking heritage. Yeah. Man, them beat their chest for the Arsenal thing proper, you know. You got to remember, I'm from South London.
Yeah.
Enough of my boys are Arsenal fans. You can't be screaming, celebrating, getting a draw against Crystal Palace, and then telling me you played Villa off the park. Villa are going for.
I think the whole mentality changed, though. Like we see Arsenal as like that, but because Arsenal have struggled over time, I think as fan group, like they're probably happy with what's going on right now. Why wouldn't it be like you're unbeaten?
No, they definitely are happy. I've seen all the tweets, I've seen all the comments. They are happy, and to be fair, you've got to give them some respect because they have been decent in recent weeks. You got to like the form table. The form table doesn't lie, but it's a bit. You know, like Semps was saying earlier, just calm down a bit, just chill, just enjoy this moment, but stop fighting. Like we're seeing people like Igal saying that they got potentially the best defense in the league next year, the best keeper, the best this. No, it's not banner. This is what they're saying, and it's just like.
Ramsdale. So we got a comment here from Dizzy. Big up Dizzy in the comments. Y'all are not fair with your judgment. Anyway, thoughts on Ramsdale and our new defense.
There you go. Just what I said.
I was giving them credit.
Yeah, to be fair, and I've been trying the thing as well. So I don't know. You might have to be a bit more specific, Dizzy, and who you're talking about not being fair. But you know, we're trying to see both sides and everything. But in terms of Ramsdale and their new defense, we did have forgetting his name now. That was up here the other day, Spurs fan, and he said that Arsenal's defense have been shambolic.
Oh, that was Danny the Bun Kiriaki.
Danny, he said he's been shambolic. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, A1, and how Ramsdale and their defense has been going?
Well, to be fair, their defense weren't very good yesterday. Ramsdale saved them on countless occasions yesterday.
Ramsdale was man of the match yesterday.
Yeah, he absolutely saved them on countless occasions. He was unreal. In the second half, I only watched half of the second half because I had to get to the Tottenham Stadium. But bro, they were cutting through Arsenal like nothing. I saw Luke Thomas waltz through the defense. I saw Harvey Barnes get a 1-2 through that defense. Like, plus Arsenal were giving up stupid fouls, like so close to their penalty box.
But you know what? You know what? I will say something. Ramsdale had a great game yesterday because people always say I'm so negative. I'm Arsenal anti this and that. But that save that he pulled off. And it was a double save as well. Yeah, the free kick save was amazing. And then the follow-up from Johnny Evans, who should have scored. I don't know how. I've got to give him his credit. Ramsdale was good yesterday, so I'll give him that.
And he's the reason that Arsenal got those 3 points. Yeah. I'm not hearing the stuff about their defense is great. Arsenal play boring football, right? They play boring football, and the teams that they've been keeping clean sheets against aren't elite sides.
And by the way, I was here
an elite side or an elite attacking side, and you're not going to be able to keep these clean sheets. They're going to pick you apart. They think Gabriel's this top centre back. Like, please calm down. He weren't even good yesterday, right? Again, Ramsdale saved you. See, this is my Arsenal hate coming out because I hate Arsenal. But when I see fans overhyping them like this, I try giving you credit. I tried. When I see fans overhyping like this about the defense, go and get out of here, man. Bro, that left back Tavares, bro.
So I just got to say this, Dizzy. This comment here United have kept one clean sheet in like 21
My
games.
bro,
Nobody's out here trying to boost the Man United.
right. Anyone that knows me knows that I hate Maguire.
So
This ain't
don't bring us into it,
hurting me, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think United's defense is trash.
Exactly.
But Arsenal defense ain't good. Don't think because you keep clean sheets. Guys think because you keep clean sheets that your team is good. You were very lucky yesterday. Very, very lucky yesterday.
Harvey Barnes had
Leicester
Tomiyasu. You know,
destroyed you.
Tomiyasu, who they were bigging up. Oh, he's so great defensively. Harvey Barnes was toasting him.
Bro, Harvey Barnes had
toasting. Toast.
On skates, but they look at the
he was like that. He didn't know where he was going.
All right. Well, let's move on from Arsenal because they did win though. They did win.
That's funny. They won and we're just grilling.
Yeah.
They lost to Leicester.
Pat's trying his hardest to get his little bit out.
No, I'm not trying. I was positive about them. I said they're in good form. I gave Ramsdale his props. This is the thing. People, I try and be like quite down the line, innit? But people only want to pick up the stuff that.
Look. We leave Arsenal there.
Yeah.
You know, we leave Arsenal there. We're gonna wrap up shortly anyway. But just some quick thoughts on like what somebody did say in the comments. You know, Arsenal drew with Brighton, and so did Liverpool. Here we have from Kuran C. Didn't Liverpool just draw to Brighton? D, what are you saying? Because you know Liverpool did draw 2-2 with Brighton. I'm guessing that was a shock after the high of Manchester United. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was at the ground and then I saw and I heard at halftime that Brighton scored a goal after Liverpool had a goal disallowed. So they got into the game like that. And then, of course, they scored the second one. But look, as Brighton this season, I'll be honest, I don't like them. One, because I'm a Palace fan, and two, there's too many reasons. Actually, there's not one or two. Let me not just start on Brighton. But when you're looking at yesterday's game, I heard, on the way back, there were Liverpool fans moaning about lack of investment in midfield. So as I said, I've been traveling up and down the country, trying to watch Palace. So I haven't had much time to look into it. But apparently the Liverpool midfield wasn't as strong enough. So that's what they were using as an excuse. But you know what? Getting a point away at Anfield is still decent, regardless of who's playing. But it's kind of interesting though. City drop point, Liverpool drop points, and then you have teams like Chelsea that are, you know, picking up points against Newcastle, which ain't that difficult because, you know, I know we struggled. We only got a point, but if you're Chelsea, I expected them to win in that game. But when you're looking at Liverpool yesterday and Brighton yesterday, it's a good point for Brighton, but Liverpool must be like annoyed with dropping points against them because from what I've seen so far this season, when we play them as well, Brighton are not that great.
Yeah. You don't think Brighton are that great, no?
No, I don't think so. I really don't. They've got lucky. Leicester game, the man should win that game in the second half. Leicester scored 2 goals.
What do they call the Brighton Palace? What's the rivalry called? It's the M20 A24.
It's not even A20. A23 goes.
It's a rivalry.
A20. So that's why D's saying this, because of the rivalry. Because Brighton deserve.
He said he hates them. He said there's too many reasons why he hates them as well.
I just said look. All right, cool. I'll go through the results. So the Leicester game, they shouldn't have won that, yeah? Or I think it was a draw or it was a win, I can't remember. Leicester should have won that game comfortably. Brighton got lucky with VAR. In our game, once again, Brighton got lucky as well. Well, to be fair, luck gets you points in it at the end of the day. But against Norwich, they drew. Hey, trust me, Brighton are going to go. They're not going to be up there. They're not going to be up there coming into the season. They're just getting lucky. But I didn't see yesterday's game, so I can't really talk too much. But yeah, they are up there in the league. But as I said, their performances, you know, I don't think it's quite what the table reflects. They are getting a bit lucky.
Fair enough. London Leeds, come true.
Yeah, quick one. Funny thing, I was actually at that London Liverpool Brighton game. Funny enough, I was actually there. It was a corporate event.
You kept that quiet, boy.
Yeah. I was actually at the game. Liverpool bossed it. Yeah, okay. They actually bossed the game. So if anyone watched the first half, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Wow. It was insane. Brighton had nothing. The possession was 75%. It was terrible. It was really bad.
They get lucky, man.
Where Liverpool they didn't even lose. Where Liverpool drew the game, lack of intensity in the second half. And I can't even call what it was, what happened. but the intensity.
They
was
celebrated too much after that Man United win, man. That's what it is.
Seems that way, but the intensity weren't there, and they got picked off. And the goals, they walked through them, picked them off. Pretty easy.
I saw Trossard's goal. Like you said, Trossard literally walked through the defense and slotted it home.
They're going, what's going on here?
Yeah,
they literally walked through them.
Yeah, because they dropped a 2-goal lead as well. They were 2-0 up.
So it's on Liverpool. It's on Liverpool once again.
Definitely.
I don't know. Maybe I'm being biased, and I'm being biased. People can say Brighton being good. Look, they're 7th in the league, 1 point above Tottenham. But in all honesty, maybe because I was talking to a Brighton fan as well for a preview for our channel. And he said what the difference is this season against sides like Burnley, for example, they might struggle. They might struggle to get the points. And this season they've got that. So they have improved in that aspect, and I can admit that. But when you look at the games, London Leeds said it as well. I didn't watch the game, but he was there. It seemed like it was on Liverpool more than Brighton. There's been too many games like this. There's been too many games like this for me to say Brighton are... Nah, man.
Yeah, but Brighton have gone to Anfield. Do you know what I mean? Anfield, Liverpool have just battered Man United 5-0. Brighton are not expected to get anything from that game. So I think even if they had been bossed, 70-odd possession or whatever, like it's Brighton going to Anfield. You know what I mean?
I'm talking about the other games adding up to this. So if they got lucky in the other games, and if they're getting like what London Leeds said, that Liverpool dominated them and just let go, basically, it just shows that, you know, of course, a point away at Anfield is great, but it just shows back to the luck thing. The luck is carrying on, and it's going to run out soon.
I don't know if it's luck. I don't know, but we will see. We can, you know what I mean? I said that again, A1.
You can't call it luck when the team's 2-0 up and you come back.
At Anfield,
and they had chances to win the game. And they had chances to win the game. I can't call that luck, man.
At Anfield, man, I think we're being a bit harsh there. But don't worry, we will come back again after Christmas, and we'll see where they are.
12th, 13th. Yeah.
We'll see where they are. But last game we just touched on before we run up, not even the whole game. Chelsea are probably they're the most consistent team in the Premier League this season so far, which is why they're top of the league by 3 points, I believe, man. A1, do you think they're going all the way? I heard Scholes say that he doesn't think they're going to because of their defense or something. Like me personally, Chelsea was my pick at the beginning of the season. What's your thoughts?
I still got City winning it. I just think with the squad that they have and the gaffer that they have, they'll figure it out. I think that they're the best team in the league comfortably. Again, I think they've got the best coach in the league comfortably, and you know, they should be looking at winning the league again, I think. But Chelsea, I guess they'd be second favourites at the moment. I just think that their style is too boring. I know they won 3-0 yesterday. I know they beat Norwich 7-0 last week. But we all know that the big 100 million man's going to come back in when he's back from injury. And I just think that the fluidity of their game is going to diminish again, and they'll go back to like maybe scraping 1-0s and things like that. I just don't think. Plus, they haven't really had a sustained run of bad form. They had a tough run at the beginning, which they navigated really well, to be honest with you. But I just think a little dip in form's coming, and if that dip comes when City are on their inevitable run, then they might not be able to catch them after that. So yeah, I'm still gonna back City to win it, but I think Chelsea probably, as it stands right now, will be second place.
Can I just counter your statement, A1? Because Chelsea right now are scoring goals, and none of them are really coming from the attackers. So the fact that you're chipping in all these defenders, Reece James, Chilwell hat-trick, this, you know what I mean? Like Jorginho scoring goals. Chilwell scored a hat-trick the other day. Ben Chilwell.
That was Mason Mount, bro.
Or Mason Mount, sorry. But still, these are not...
Bro, these are forward players. Mason Mount's a forward player. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but still, like, he's not really a forward, is he? Mason Mount kind of sits in there.
I mean, they play him behind the striker, right? So when
sometimes you got.
I mean, because the pivot is always going to be Jorginho, Kovacic, Loftus-Cheek.
Barkley's in there as well. But what I'm trying to say is that
Reece James is banging. What he got two. Yeah. He got in the other day.
I think Chelsea are the real deal, man. Chelsea are the real deal, and they will probably go all the way. And I just think the fact that they're chipping in goals with both of their strikers out, they're scoring freely as well.
They're not conceding either.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, London Leeds?
They're not conceding.
I'm with Patrick on this. they're just a different kind of fish. For me, it's the coach. He's got them running like machines, and the tactics, how he's got them set up. I think they're serious. I think they are, as Patrick said, they're the real deal. It's them and City for me, and I can't at this point in the season pick one over the other. And if I had to, if you were going to nail me down and say it have to be Chelsea, because they don't look like they're even going to flinch. They don't look like they're going to flinch at all. They're going to stare in the eye and keep going for it. You've got to remember, they played yesterday's game. I know it's Newcastle. They had no Lukaku. Like, he wasn't there. And they pin a lot of their balls on him and feeding off his link-up play. So we'll see what happens anyway. But I think they are definitely the real deal.
Yeah. D, on you, lastly, what are your thoughts on Chelsea? And who's going to win? Can they go all the way?
They are the favourites right now. They do edge it. But I don't want to get carried away as well. Like, it's still early in the season. 10 games played. See what injuries are saying. I'm still a believer of Liverpool. I still feel like Liverpool have a chance there. I know Liverpool dropped points against Brighton and City also dropped points against us. But trust me, it's a long season. When December comes through, players might pick up a couple injuries due to games happening very fast. I know Chelsea got the depth there, but this season is a very exciting season. Like, I'm looking at the league table right now, and Liverpool are only 3 points behind Chelsea, but like if Chelsea drop 1 or 2 points and then City win game, then they're right there as well. Chelsea's defense being impressive, of course, only like conceding 3 goals in 10 games, but it's still a long season. Chelsea edges it for me, but for Liverpool, I think Liverpool are there as well. I really do think that. I'm not too sure about City. City will most likely be, of course, it's them 3, but for me, the order goes Chelsea, then Liverpool, then City from what I've seen.
Fair enough. But let me just say one last thing before we move on and close off today. With your logic, A1, about dips in form, Manchester United have had their dip. So when they go on their run, they still will be back on top.
Don't even get it twisted, because we're up block touring this season. When we go to the bridge and show them Wagwan, don't think after that we're not going on a stronger.
Imagine Ollie.
In January, if we're within 5 points, it's a title charge.
It's peak. Ollie at the wheel. Ollie's at the wheel. Anyway, thank you very much, people. As always, man, we always have good conversations, good chats on Everyone's a Pundit, because everyone is a pundit, man. So big up yourselves. I really appreciate you lot. I had a very good show. London Leeds, let them know where they can find you, please.
Yeah, London Leeds. Find me on Twitter. Give me a shout. Give me an ad and I'll follow you back, man. Definitely do that.
Wicked. Are you on any other channels or doing anything? Nah,
I'll be dead honest with you, this is the first pod I do. I'm just on Twitter, just having a bit of banter with other Leeds fans, and gave me a shout. I thought I'd come on and share a bit of the stuff I love. I love the club. If anyone follows me, you'll find out, mate. That's all I do. I live and breathe it.
See. Nah, man, it's been a pleasure having you on, man, and we'll definitely love to have you on again. D, where can they find you? Who are you repping? What are you doing?
Back of the Nest, so Crystal Palace fan channel, just running that. Started running it properly this season, so we've got loads of content there from the City game, like in the stand videos, match reactions, player ratings that's due to come out. So if you want to go check out Back of the Nest for Crystal Palace videos, because right now we're loving life. Apart from when I talk about Brighton, I'm a happy man. So if you want to go and check us out from there, and also you can follow me as well at the Palace. But yeah, man, thank you to everyone for having me on as well. It's a good chat.
Yeah, man. Again, pleasure having you on. Definitely get you back on again. A1, man, it's been a long time coming. Obviously, met you at the Never a File barbecue. You grace us with your presence today. Let the people them know where they can find you and who you're repping as well, please.
You can find me on Twitter, A1_QDL, Quality Defense League, defending quality at all costs. Also at TLF_Mugger, TLF_MUGA. That's Making United Great Again. Touchline Fracker banner. Big up the Touchline Frackers lot as well. Give them a follow at Touchline Frackers. But listen, we move, man. We move. Thank you guys for having me, bro. I need to get you on my channel very, very soon. But appreciate you. Appreciate you all.
Nice one. Shout out to Touchline Frackers as well. remembering they were one of the big accounts, and they followed us quite early on, man. So shout out to Touchline Frackers, you lot doing your thing over there. And yeah, man, Pat, let the people them know what you're on.
You know what? It's not about me today. It's about my guests. So it's fantastic that we got London Leeds on. We've got D from Palace. The fact that we're getting different cores of fan bases now, in a sense, we've always had United, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, Liverpool. The fact that we've got Leeds fans on now, Crystal Palace fans on, it's brilliant, man. It just shows the growth of the channel. And the fact that you guys are willing to come on here and you know your stuff and you're talking ball with us, I'm happy, man. I'm happy. So yeah, big up you lot. It's not about me today. It's about you guys.
Easy now, young Swaggy Daniels.
Young Swaggy Daniels. Come on.
Come on. But no, man. Brilliant. A1, we get you back on again. Thank you all for coming on, man. This is Everyone's a Pundit, people. And these were my pundits. Until next week, man, we are out. I hope you all have a blessed weekend. Peace out. No, blessed week, not weekend. Blessed week.
2 hours of bless.